Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Breakfast with Bobby. I am one of your two co-hosts. I'm Kristina, and I'm here with Bobby Klebano, who is my co-host. And we have two friends of mine from a group called the Soulful Sharing Circle. And we have Tami Jean and Tara. Welcome, ladies. Thank you for being here. Bobby, what you got to say for yourself today? I haven't talked to you in a couple of weeks.
Gosh, I have so much to say, and not really know how to get it all out. It's an interesting time. We were just talking about all kinds of things before we started the show, which was an intriguing conversation. But we were talking about bugs and friendship and how we all got here and stuff. I am really intrigued with the two of you in your group. You guys have the best light about you. So I'm gonna just ask a few questions and make them up as I go along because I really don't have anything. That's what we
Awesome.
do here. Make things
That
up.
works. And I told her the topic right after I told you the topic. So
Good, good. So what are we talking about? Spiritual friendship, contracts, chords, kind of thing.
whatever, but like I was thinking the importance of spiritual friendships.
Yeah, boy, that's
Mm.
so speaking of that, how well do you guys know each other? The two of you.
I
Go
think we
ahead,
have
Tami.
We do this with the other group too.
yeah. It's funny that I think this kind of all started. I honestly can't remember 100%. Maybe you guys can confirm, but like Kristina asked us to be on her radio show, and then we started this group chat, what, 2.5 years, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I don't know. And we never stopped talking.
Yeah.
And most of us have never met in person. And we created this really safe space, and we just found each other, and it just became this place where we're all there for each other. We all support each other spiritually as friends. We're this tribe of people who've never met in person. I don't think most of us, except for the whole family of mother and daughters, but it's separate from everything else, yet it's like its own unique safe place that's always there. It's always at the top of my messenger feed. It's always there, and I know these ladies are always there. And whenever I have an issue, I'm in there like, send healing, send whatever. We all are, and I think it's a beautiful, really unique thing that we've created.
So you've created your own tribe, your own
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Other. That's so Tara, tell me a little about you. Tell me about your friendship with Tami and the rest of the group. And
So again, I'm not even sure. Well, I know Kristina invited us all to be on one of her podcasts.
Way back when
and
on WLTKDB.
Yeah, the radio show.
The radio show.
yeah. And we had just started the clubhouse, and the clubhouse was something that Diane and I started, and it was just, we wanted to create a community, of an open community where we could talk all things spiritual. Everyone was open, and like I said, on the clubhouse, a lot of times people go into that more so for others to listen to them, but we created ours just that everyone could talk. And a core group kind of started showing up, and then we went on Kristina's talk show, and that started a group messenger chat, and then it just kind of has stayed.
It never
And
stopped. Never stopped.
And so there's kind of like a core group of us who go to Clubhouse every Thursday morning, and have a chat about different topics. And then we also have our private group chat where we, like Tami said, we just support each other. We ask for support, we offer support, we send funny memes, we send energy stuff, energy updates, and all of that kind of stuff. And it's just become its own little entity, kind of like Tami said. And again, most of us have not met in person. A lot of us in the group are, well, we're all spiritual, and a lot of us have our own kind of businesses or something tied to that. And, a lot of us have all shared within our group others' gifts and others' groups and things like that. And so I don't know, it's just, yeah. I think you just nailed it, Bobby. Like, we've kind of started our own little tribe.
I think it's really interesting these days. There seems to be a lot more of that coming around, and people are wanting a place to participate and to get to know someone. You don't necessarily have to jeopardize yourself and go outside or, take a car ride or whatever. Where are you guys located? Are both of you in the same state, or?
We're not
Nope.
even in the same country.
I was going to say, not even in the same country.
Yeah.
I'm in Pennsylvania, Eastern Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I'm in Canada, Alberta, Canada.
Canada seems to be a happening place. I belong to another couple of groups, and a lot of people are from Canada. That's another happening place up there. Where, so Thursday morning, what time?
At 9 Mountain. You guys can say your
10
time zones.
Central.
Okay.
1 o'clock or 11 Eastern time.
Okay. Just so I know that you invited me to come, and I'd just like to show up at the proper time. Not that I'm sitting all by myself.
10 Central. 10 Central. That's all you got to know.
I got it.
Well, and then like you had kind of said, I think because of this and because of the clubhouse, we had a lot of people who were coming in, not part of the core regular group, but other people who would come in and out. And so we started a Facebook group that's called SSC Find Your Tribe. And because that was exactly what people were saying is, oh, we just want people to connect with. And so we started that, and it just kind of is, it's not like most Facebook groups, like it's not something that we I don't actively promote. I don't think anyone in the group does. It's just for people to come and find their tribe. And if they connect with somebody, then we encourage them to connect, or however that looks. We're pretty, it's a small group, but it's Kristina does a lot of posting. She's great at that. But we're also, as admins, because we're all admins to it, we're very I don't know what the word is, cautious on who we allow in the group, and we're very watchful of who's in, because we really wanted to create that safe space where no matter what you were on your spiritual journey, like, feel free to ask questions, feel free to share, to comment, that kind of thing. And so we were really careful on who I mean, everyone's welcome, but we're just very careful energetically. We protect it, I guess, is the best way to say it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
protect that space.
We came to a point right before we started that group where we were kind of going, we want to share what we have here, but we wanted to keep what we had because it was so precious. And we didn't want to like add people to our chat. So how do we do what we're doing and start to include other people? And the Facebook group just made sense. And it's a private group. We invite people in. We don't, it's not open to the public, right? It's just people who get invited.
Right.
So we can kind of have the same feel that we have in our chat, yet more publicly. So people feel that they have people they can come to and ask questions.
And not be afraid to ask.
No fear of, judgment.
It is an open group, but you have to be admitted, like you have to answer the questions and be approved by one of the admins to get in the group. But it is open, so anyone can find it. So if you search it, but like I said, we are really we protect it energetically, I guess is the way I like to say it.
We watch it, and if anybody is behaving inappropriately or something like that, then we handle it.
And it helps that we're all empaths too, because we're like, didn't get a good feeling there.
This doesn't feel right. What do you guys think?
Yeah, and we'll kind of in our private chat go, what do you think about this one? And yeah, it's okay. And so it's a safe space, which is beautiful. And I there's some people who are more active and some just that pop in and out, but that's kind of what it was meant to be. It wasn't meant to be like a more business oriented Facebook page where it's trying to get people to act and stuff. I don't personally in that group care about the algorithm or
I don't either.
Anything like that.
I don't think any of us do.
Yeah, it's just about being there and being that safe space.
So how many people are in your group?
There's,
Something?
I think, 90 some,
Is it 90 some?
I think.
That's a
I
healthy group. I don't see that as small. And there's a lot of minds, that need to come together. And it's interesting that you guys are finding people again, I see this happening more and more these days, that the
Oh, yeah.
spiritual community is really getting bigger and bigger. And there's people that are
Mhm.
really hungry for this kind of stuff, to be nurtured and to feel comfortable about who they are
Right.
and the
Mhm.
gifts they have. And, we didn't go into this, but I know Kristina and I have been together for a long time. And as we mentioned, it took her a year to coax me into doing this. So that being said, you learn how to navigate each other, but you create a stronger bond and a trusting bond. And I just think the entire society, many of them, and especially with the ascension and all the stuff going on in the atmosphere and stuff, people are just really hungry to belong to something that they can feel comfortable with and trust and just relax and
Yeah.
not have to feel like somewhere along the line somebody's going to take advantage of you or say something that is
Mm.
so nasty that you just don't even want to attend it anymore. And
Right.
it's such a breath of fresh air, you guys. And I have a meeting at 10 o'clock almost every Thursday. However, I have the option to reschedule it. So I will put it at a different time just to come to your meeting. That would be wonderful. I'd love to see you all and play. And again,
Awesome.
there's just
That
not
would be
enough of
great.
that. We just
Yeah.
need more. And the majority of them are women, and we need a voice.
Yes.
Absolutely. I love how you said hungry, because it's so true.
Mhm.
There are, I think, especially with the ascension and the awakening and more people awakening, and I think a lot of the people who are drawn to us have been awakening for a while, so they are awoken. Is that a word? Um, but like I said, it's for varying kind of degrees. But I think what I was going to say with that is, a lot have felt, like most of us in the spiritual community felt like they needed to keep it
Quiet.
private, because they
Uh-huh.
wouldn't be accepted, or they'd be
Mhm.
judged, or kind of like
Yeah.
we were talking before, or they have certain positions within their community or within their business or within their career where they're like, ooh, like I have to keep myself in the spiritual closet, is kind of what I always say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think because it's becoming more acceptable, more people are coming out of that closet, and more willing to own that part of themselves,
Mhm.
and integrate that into a part of their life. And so I think that's why we're seeing that hungry. Like, I love that word, Bobby,
Mhm.
that
I do
hungriness
too.
for it.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to add something here before you ask your next question, Bobby. When my son passed away, the Soulful Sharing Circle, boom, right there. They surrounded me. They loved me.
You
They,
make me cry.
I know
Me
I'm
too.
crying too, but they
Like
were
tear up
there.
my eye.
Like they were there, and they were checking on me multiple times a day for months. Like, this is why we need spiritual friendships,
Yes.
because a lot of my friends and family didn't know what to say or do.
Right.
And these ladies just followed their instinct. And I remember Jen asking me, what's his name? Tell me about him.
Mhm.
The kind of stuff that the people in my physical life either
Mhm.
already knew or were afraid to ask,
Mhm.
or didn't think to ask. And
Mhm.
there were a lot of people who were in my physical life too, who were there as well. I mean, like I had Lee, I don't think any of you know Lee, but she had just met us. She had just met us by watching mine and Logan's show.
Mhm.
And she has become one of my dearest friends. Like she was boom. She was at my door, physically at my door with
Wow.
bags of groceries
Oh.
and going, don't worry about anything. We got you.
Yeah, wow.
So having those spiritual friendships has been amazing for me.
I
Mm.
find it really amazing and interesting when you are with a group of people like this
Hmm.
and you realize you're in a room full of people just like you.
Yes.
Everyone has the same kind, loving, supporting attitude. And that whole vibration of just wanting to stay there, it's kind of like finding your own little world, that
Mhm.
you just somehow or another, the boat landed on shore and there they are. Your
Yeah.
whole tribe just showed up for you and welcomed you there. And they don't know a darn thing about you. And what a blessing that is. Oh my
Yeah.
God. It's,
Mm-hmm.
And it's all
It,
energy based. I'm just going to say
oh,
it's energy
absolutely.
based. We are
yes,
drawn to people like us. And I
yes.
just think it's such a beautiful thing. And I could not be more grateful for the amazing life that I have today.
Yeah.
And, Bobby knew me 10 years ago. I didn't even want to be on the planet.
Yeah. Well, I can't tell
So,
you that, I was kind of half-assed retired at that point, went back to work with an insurance company, which had the worst vibration anywhere. And to try to navigate that because I didn't belong
right.
was
Mm-hmm.
difficult as well. And now that I am fully retired, I get to do this and I get to delve into my own skills and, to share stuff that I have and at least the ideas that we all have to support each other and to go forward and just feel comfortable about where you are and life and do what feels right to you. And, you do the right thing because it's the right thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think belonging is such a huge thing. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
think for so many of us who are spiritually minded or have been our whole lives or have been in kind of some pathway our whole lives, that feeling of belonging is not something that we're used to. Like I said, so many of us are used to, well, this is my work life and this is my home life.
Mhm.
And so just keeping them really separate and keeping it, like you have to be. I live in a really small town that is um basically, I haven't seen Yellowstone, but I feel like that's kind of I feel like that's my town.
Oh, wow.
Those are my people
Yeah.
that live in my town. And so it's not someone that you walk down the street and go, "Oh yeah, I energy heal or I play with crystals," and it's like, "Oh, well, you're crazy." And so
Yes.
it's you just keep it quiet, and it is such a blessing, like Kristina said, to find people where you can feel like you belong and energetically feel that too, because as empaths we feel, even if people aren't saying that they're judging you, you feel that
Yes.
um in the
Yeah.
exterior. And so just like Kristina said, within our group you just have that feeling of being supported and being, the only way I can describe it is like a warm kind of blanket or a warm
Yes.
hug in
Yes.
that group. And
Yeah.
so that's so beautiful.
And
Yeah.
you want more of it. And there
Yeah.
eventually all of your people come together and there you all are with your warm blanket snuggled up on the couch together, watching a
Yep.
movie.
Absolutely.
For lack of a better
Yeah,
explanation, it just feels that warm.
I
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
Watching a movie or watching YouTube videos.
Sure. Reruns of Breakfast with Bobby or,
Yeah.
the spiritual community or whatever. So are your
Yeah.
reruns, you tape your shows, right?
Yep, we do. And then they're just podcasts. So
They're audio only. Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah.
yeah.
Well, we don't always have to see the pretty faces in order to get something out of, the language. So,
Right.
Yeah, the podcast is on all podcast stations, like iTunes, Spotify,
mm,
iHeartRadio, all of them.
oh,
And
that's
it's just called Soulful Sharing Circle. And like we were saying before, we don't edit. It is exactly the conversation that we have.
Mhm.
Um,
I don't think
even
we
with the
promote it
pauses.
either. Is anybody promoting it? No, we just toss it out there and whoever
Yeah.
needs to find it finds it, just like us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
interesting with what you're saying, Bobby, how things, with I think people are looking for that more and more. Yeah, our downloads, like we just had, I get because I'm the one who does the putting it out there. I get an email from them and we had 151 downloads of it last
Wow.
week. They're not always that high. Like sometimes they're 7 or 8,
Mhm.
but sometimes we hit these where like 150 downloads in a week, which is again for not promoting and not putting it out there.
Mhm.
None of us do. It just is kind of, I think, like I have it on my website that I have it and I put it out with all of my stuff that it's there, but I don't actively promote it or other than posting what the topic's going to be that week, that's the only time I ever post about it.
Well,
Yeah.
clearly you're doing something right. You know, it's organically being spread around and
Mhm.
people are looking at it, and there's people obviously that need it or they wouldn't be downloading it.
Right.
Mhm.
That's
And that's why I feel like, because when they're big like that, I feel like it's a new person that's maybe found us and
Mhm.
then went back and done the backlog of, you know, a whole bunch of episodes. That's the only reason I can think why sometimes we jump from like I said, 10 or less to 150, is someone's gone through and gone, yeah, this is my tribe, or this is my group. And then they
And yeah,
download a whole bunch of episodes.
and shared it with with someone that they care about.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so. Tami, tell us a little about you. I'm curious because you've been just cautiously watching us all talk.
Oh, not cautiously, just watching. I am a self-love coach, and I've been a professional nail technician for 31 years, retired and work in my she shed. I'm actually sitting at my nail table now. So, um, but now currently I work with verbally abused women. I'm putting together a program called Heart Activation to help teach women the tools and techniques I've learned on my own journey of healing from the verbal abuse I suffered, and helping them to find their self-worth and unconditional self-love. So that's my main passion now. I'm writing. I work with crystals. I make jewelry. I make crystal jewelry so you can hold the crystals on your person to help in your healing journey. And I'm a Reiki practitioner. I dabble in a lot of the things. I'm a card reader. I read cards. So I've learned a lot of tools, and what I've learned is that I'm creating a tool shed. I have a group on Facebook called Heart Mender Toolbox, and that's where I share all the tools and techniques that I've learned with everybody. There's so many tools that I've pulled together and filled my shed. So now I'm in a place where I'm sharing with others the things that I've learned. And my heart activation program is bringing all of those tools together to share. I'm working on an interactive workbook right now and building a group program and hopefully a one-on-one program eventually. That's the plan.
That
So,
sounds like some pretty important work, and there's
yeah,
lots
it is.
of that going on, the verbal abuse stuff. And
Yeah, and I like to make it really clear. Like, I understand that people who have been physically abused in any manner have been verbally abused as well.
Right.
What I ran into in my first marriage, from the time I was 16 till I was 35, I didn't catch on that I was being verbally abused. I didn't understand it. Was
don't
he a
know it.
jerk? Yes, he was a jerk. I didn't know. So
Mhm.
now I'm bringing awareness to what red flags are, what it looks like, what verbal abuse is, because as I like to say, women who are getting the shit beat out of them know they're getting the shit beat out of them.
Yeah.
Okay. They may not understand the ins and outs of verbal abuse as well, but there's a lot of women that are being gaslighted, manipulated, by, I don't like to lightly use the word narcissistic, sociopathic, individuals that don't understand they're being abused and don't understand the damage that's being done, a lifetime worth of PTSD from being treated that way. So my job, because I've been able to bring myself back, to a place, I didn't much less like myself, much less love myself.
Sure.
And so I've learned about energy healing and bringing that all first full circle. Again, with my great support, I reach out to Tara and Kristina all the time. Okay, girls, I got something going on here. Let's see what we can find. Um, there's so many tools out there to help us to learn to um, shift our energy field, understanding, the law of attraction, understanding what you're putting out is what you're bringing in. And if you're self-pity and in this vulnerable or a victim mentality state, which unfortunately happens a lot after verbal abuse, I was in this victim mentality, energy sucker, place that I didn't know. And once I knew, and I started all these energy tools, this tools just started coming at me, about 6, 7 years ago. And I started, okay, I want to learn it all, all at one time.
Yeah.
Um,
I was
So,
like that at the beginning too. Just give me all of the
give
information.
me it all, yeah.
Yeah.
So I had somebody use the expression of have a tool shed and taking one tool and sharpening that tool and then putting it up and getting another tool and sharpening that tool. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna step back and try to pick one at a time, which is hard. But I have also figured out it's my job to share those tools. I don't have to perfect them all. I don't have to do them all perfectly, but I want to share them and help people to find those tools so they can find the tool that works for them the best.
Do you find that there's one tool that works better for you than others? What's your go-to? Where do you start?
I've always resonated with the crystals and the card readings. The card reading, I started learning about card reading. I found somebody had introduced me to a card reader on YouTube. She was a general reader, and that's crazy. Who would listen to these people? Months on end. She would do a astrology, your birth sign or whatever. Virgo, I'm a Virgo. And every month, I'm telling you, she was talking to me. And I said, I need to learn this. She was absolutely spot on. I said, I want to learn how to do this.
And what's your favorite stone? What protects you the best?
I like grounding stones. I also attract to the clear quartz or Lemurian quartz actually a lot. There's a connection there for sure. So, gosh, I can't. I don't know. I love them all. I'm wearing a red jasper right now for grounding. I am grounding right now. So,
do you a fabulous job of it? I just want to say.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, grounding is so important. I think a lot of us are out there, especially those of us trying to that are awakening and our vibration is rising and we're kind of all over the place. I think that's one of the most important tools to have is to learn how to ground.
Yeah.
Whether it be crystals or through meditation, or just visualizing roots coming from your feet or your torso into the earth and connecting to Mother Earth. Like that's the high vibration. The higher vibrations are super important, but so are the lower ones, like the drumming circle. Like those earthy, lower vibrational grounding tools are important too. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm raising my vibration, but you got to connect before you do that, or you're gonna just be all over the place.
Yeah. I visualize a hot air balloon a lot.
Yeah, that's a good one.
With no real control. You go whichever way the wind is blowing and you don't know where you're going and you don't know when it's going to stop.
Right. Or where it's going to land. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Sometimes it's in a field. Sometimes it's in the guide wires that you don't really want to be in.
Right.
Sometimes it's in a prison yard. Just saying.
Wow.
Leave it to Kristina.
There is a story that goes along with that, but
do we need to hear that today?
I feel like we need to hear that.
We might, yeah.
Okay, so years ago, I got a part-time gig as a chaser for a hot air balloon company. Okay, so basically, you have about 3 or 4 people in a van with a trailer attached to the back, and you are visually watching where the hot air balloon goes. So you've got like one driver, somebody who's a spotter, and somebody who's in contact with the hot air balloon pilot. And that does require a license in case you didn't know that. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So my first time out, it was like, I can't believe I ever went back, seriously, because they handed me, before we even got off the ground, they're filling up the balloon with the propane, and they handed me a guide wire and said, walk out to the end of the field. What they didn't say was walk back in, right? So I'm like, all of a sudden I'm running and I'm holding on to this rope and I'm flying through the air all of a sudden, screaming as I'm headed straight for this hot air balloon. And, I don't know how far up I was off the ground, but one of the taller guys just kind of grabbed me and said, let go of the rope. So I didn't get injured falling to the ground, right? So, okay, that was adventure number 1. Same night. I'm spotting and I'm watching and I'm going, okay, go left, go right, whatever, right? So I'm not watching the road. The guy's like, it's a straight road. I can't turn, right? So I'm like, well, the next time you get a chance, turn whatever. And all of a sudden the pilot came through on the radio and said, we had to make an emergency landing. Here's our coordinates, right? So, and it was a regular airline pilot who was driving the van, thank God, and knew how to do coordinates, because I had no idea.
Oh
Right.
boy.
So we pull in and we're looking around and I'm like, this is a jail. And so we're in the parking lot of a county jail, right? And it's not like, 2 or 3 cells. They had a fenced off yard and a tower and everything, right?
Oh my
A
goodness.
large prison?
Well, it was a smaller prison, but a larger jail. I don't know, but I'm not
Okay.
going to mention the location. So,
Fair enough.
it was in Wisconsin. That's as far as I'll go to say
Okay.
like where we were. And I'm in there with 2 seasoned, what they call stiff wing pilots, right? So airline pilots or airplane pilots. I don't know that they were airline pilots. And they're like, you need to go in and tell them we got to get our balloon and our people back. Because we had like 15 people in the balloon in the basket, and the biggest hot air balloon in Wisconsin. I mean, it was crazy. It was a big group. And so I walk in the front door and there's this guy standing there and I'm like, I'm here to get my balloon back. And he said, what are you talking about? Now I'm looking behind him at a wall full of monitors, right? I can see it. This guy, I'm like, just turn around and look at your TVs. And he's like, you're not making any sense. And he hit a buzzer. I heard him hit the buzzer.
Oh.
And and apparently it was his superior that came out. And he's like, can we help you, ma'am? I'm like, I'm on a hot air balloon team. Our hot air balloon just crash landed in your yard and we need to get it back. And he's like, what? I said, turn around and look at your TV. And he turned around and went, holy shit. And and then I heard a bunch of buzzers. He hit something and then it was like, rah, rah, rah. Everything had to go on lockdown before
They
we
didn't
could get
take
in.
their eyes off of you, Kristina. They didn't
They
want to
did
take their eyes off.
not. And they're
Yeah.
like, who are you with? I'm like, I'm with the white panel van in the parking
That
lot.
doesn't sound very good either.
That doesn't sound much better, no.
No, I'm like, there are 2 pilots out there in the van. You can go talk to them, but they had to make sure that they did a complete head count, make sure everybody was like
Yeah.
where they were supposed to be and locked in before they
Wow.
would open the gate, right? Okay. I don't know if you know what like a 60-foot tall balloon is, but
That's pretty
Oh, yeah.
impressive.
yeah, they
Okay.
said, you have 5 minutes. And we're all like, 5 minutes? How are we going to do this in 5 minutes? Like, it takes longer than that to get it back into the basket just so we can. But yeah, we had armed guards standing around us. Not
Wow.
I mean, they were like, their backs were to us for the most part because they were just making sure nobody was going to bother us while we were getting all of these people out of the yard into the van and then getting the balloon into the basket and secured to the trailer so we could take off. Yeah, that was my first experience, and believe it or not, I went back.
Oh my goodness. My question is how good are they watching those monitors? If
You
they're
know
using a
what?
freaking huge
I was kind of
balloon?
thinking that too.
They
It's
have
like,
a freaking guard tower.
yeah.
Who's
Like,
in the
how
guard
did they
tower?
not know?
Hey guys, there's a hot air balloon in our yard.
Well, yeah. What was
did
he
you say,
watching?
like 60 foot.
I
Yeah,
don't think
like-
anybody was in the guard tower.
Probably like
Well,
nothing
you
happens
would
there
hope
ever
not.
either. So
I mean, it's not like it's Alcatraz or something. I mean, it was a small.
But
County.
still, that's not a small object.
No,
Right,
it's not a
right.
small object.
Yeah.
That's
I'm like, how
huge.
did all of you miss this? Like,
Yeah,
and not only
exactly.
is it large, it's brightly colored. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. It begs the question, what were you looking at?
Yeah.
No kidding. That's hilarious.
Mhm.
So anyway,
love your
that
stories,
was my
Kristina.
most interesting job experience. Let's just put it that way. And if you think about what I do for a living, that's saying something.
Yes.
Yeah,
it
no
is.
kidding. No kidding. That's hilarious.
Speaking of a tried, holy cow. So
Yeah.
how long did you work for said balloon company?
Just that one summer, and it wasn't. I mean, it was just like the first 4 or 5 people who showed up got to work.
Oh, the rest of you
Yeah.
can go back home? What?
Yeah, pretty much.
Did you get to go in the balloon too?
At one point I did, because we had too many people show up, and the pilot's like, "You want to go for a ride?" Is this a trick question? Yes, I want to go for a ride.
That would be,
Is it
I would
cool?
love to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of want to, but nah, I don't know.
I
You
have
know,
done it.
Yeah.
I have done it, but I don't know if I could do it now because I have a fear of heights now for some reason.
oh, I loved it. I would do it every day if I could. It
Really?
was
I
so
feel I
cool.
would too.
Yeah. I think the coolest part about me was not so much the heights, because when you're, way up there, you can't really judge height very well, but you can hear people talking on the ground.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because there's nothing that's getting in the way of the, like there's no buildings between the ground and you. There's
Hmm.
nothing to stop the sound. You can hear conversations, 1,000 feet below you.
There was a festival not too far from where I lived at one point, and they were blowing up the balloons in a churchyard behind our house, and I was out there watching it. They're massive,
They
absolutely
are.
Huge.
massive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're loud when they're blowing them up. And
Oh
also,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
when you're flying one, that's how you raise it, is you put more propane into the
Mhm.
balloon. So it creates hot air and rises up. So
You
yeah.
can hear them from the ground because again, small town. We
Mhm.
have a balloon festival, which is getting quite big, which is amazing for our small town.
Yeah.
But you can hear them, like when I'd walk the dogs all the time in the
Mhm.
morning, you'd hear, and I'm like, what
Yeah.
is that?
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you look up and there they are. So
Yeah.
yeah, you can hear it.
That's where they're blowing the
Seen
propane.
any in a while. Speaking of which, we used to see them a lot around here, but I haven't seen any in a long time. Now I will.
Neither have I. Now that you
Yeah.
mention it, neither have I. But I don't know. That was a fun it was a fun job.
No kidding.
Hmm.
I don't know. You know what? I probably shouldn't have said that. But anyway, like we went, I mean, like we have tangents. Like this was a sharp right turn. Like it just boom.
Oh, I loved it though. I loved every minute of it.
I have never heard that story from you, Kristina. You've
How
known
have
me
you?
for
Oh,
a while.
wow. I guess we just never got around to talking about that.
I think I would have remembered you holding onto the guide wire and
Mm.
running
Flying through the air.
Flying
Yeah,
through the.
Yeah.
I think I would have, just like Winnie the Pooh grabbing your leg, come here, come down.
And it was a long time ago. It was before I even moved out west, and I've been back from out west for 15 years. So yeah.
And you were in Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yep.
Do you guys know that there's a balloon festival? Well, I don't suppose you guys do, but Burlington, Wisconsin, down near the Illinois-Wisconsin border. It's about, an hour away from that, but they have a balloon festival, and I've been to it the first year that I went. It was, I think, the first year, but they're loud, but it draws such a crowd because everybody wants to see what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
and the shapes and the art that's on the balloon is just so spectacular, and
Yeah.
they call it the moonlight glow.
I was gonna say
cool.
at night. They usually light them up at night, and that's
Mhm.
That's pretty cool.
But that's all you hear is, with the.
From the
Well, a puppy
propane
out.
heaters. Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand they're quite dangerous, but I've been enamored with balloons for quite a long time.
If you ever get the chance, I suggest you go. But I do know that was at least 20 years ago, and it was $200 a person then.
Oh,
Yeah, it's quite
It's
expensive.
It's not a cheap hobby for sure. No.
No.
So
well,
yeah. How
that
about
was a
I
fun
want to
one.
hear about what Tara does, because Tara has done some profound healings for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's
And
hear
I
about
want
that.
to hear about this. Yeah.
Okay, put me on the
She
spot
doesn't
then.
like talking about herself, so
I don't. Well, I do. I'm passionate about it, but I'm not. Yeah. First of all, I wanted to just kind of add with what Tami said. Tami is so great about sharing her tools and her experiences on her Facebook and with her group. She is just so wonderful about sharing her experiences and what she's gained and what she's learned and sharing that with others. I just love that about her. So I just wanted to say that. But then we got talking about balloons, so
I know. We
okay.
went off on a tangent.
That's such an important thing that you are doing with all the women?
Vulnerability is
more.
my superpower.
Oh, really? Do you know what your north node is and all of that? Apparently vulnerability is my north node, which
Oh,
I'm working on.
not in that way. No, I don't.
Mm. I didn't know anything about it either until I took a class, and I'm like, I don't know what that is, but
Yeah, astrology is a whole different language, and I started learning it and realized I was too busy to. It needs to be your main focus. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I
And
don't
I
get
just
that
want to
stuff
say,
either.
Tara, congratulations on the successful deflection.
Thank you.
yeah, get back to you. Stop.
Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you
So,
so much,
Tara, tell
Tami,
us about you.
Well, I call myself a soul alignment guide. That's just kind of what I was guided to call myself. Um, and I do energy healing, like Kristina said. So I work with flower essences, gem essences, and the acupressure points in your body, all of which have soul lessons or soul issues attached to. And so the healings that I do is I love the essences because it gives us mind understanding of what's kind of going on with the energy healing. And so when I work with somebody in a soul alignment, I just kind of go wherever I'm guided, which is usually people are drawn to me because of the healing. Um, and the essences are super powerful but subtle. And yeah, have done a lot of really profound healing for myself as well as for others. And really just like I said, because the way the essences are and how the book's written on all of them, when I read an essence out that's come up for somebody, there's just such a sense of comfort in being recognized. And it's like they have words for things that they didn't have words for or couldn't put their finger on, but just were feeling off. And then I read what the essence is, and they're like, oh, yeah, that's totally it, or nailed it. Or sometimes I just get tears of joy because they feel confirmed or understood, or I don't know what the word is exactly. It's not coming to me, but yeah, there's just such a sense of comfort in knowing that it's like you've been understood, I guess. And so I do
Could
it
you
all
just,
energetically.
I know that a lot of people are not going to understand what you're talking about when you say essences. Could you just like draw one, like let spirit draw one and talk us through it just so that people know what we're talking about?
Absolutely. Can you give me a minute to go grab my book?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
and I want to say while she's doing that, I've had a few sessions with Tara, and I usually let spirit guide her and just it absolutely blows me away
Every time. Yes. I
every
agree.
time.
Every time.
Every time. Yeah. The accuracy, the each, and I she'll explain all this, but each flower essence has, just like a crystal has like a general basic meaning. Each flower has that. She has a book and she'll be called to pull a flower. And I usually just let her pull, and it's just, it blows me away every time, the accuracy of what I need at that time.
What a gift. What a gift to
Yeah.
have. My
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, and you don't even have to take the flower essences. And that's what I'm learning, in my herb class. Like, we went over a little bit of Bach flower remedies, and I literally have one right here my other friend made for me. And it's the essence of the flower in the water, and you put it under your tongue and it goes in. Tara doesn't even do that. She just uses the essence.
The energy.
You don't have to put drops. It's just so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Here she comes.
Here she comes.
Here I come. So
I'm sorry, it's just really hard to explain it if people don't know.
It's
Yeah.
And that's what I always say, like at markets and stuff too. I don't know, it's hard to explain, and it's not something that's very typical for sure, but hugely powerful. And so I say I feel like I feel like I want to be the spokesperson for the essences because they are so powerful. And I just want more people to know, because the healing that's happened for myself and for others has been so huge that I just want to get them out there, I guess.
Could you just, as you're doing this, I'm sorry, Bobby, I
go
didn't
ahead.
mean to cut you off, but could you focus on Bobby's energy in order to choose the essence? Because Tami and I have already experienced it
Mhm.
It's-
So,
Yeah.
If Bobby wants to,
Oh, I'm happy to. Sure.
okay.
I
Absolutely.
knew she would be okay with it, or I wouldn't have said it.
And that's what happens when you have psychics all around you,
Yeah.
Right?
intuitive energy people.
Okay. So the way they come up, and I'll just put it on now that you'll be able to see it very well, is these down here and all this back page is the soul lessons or areas that it come up under. And so what came up for yours is barriers. And I'm gonna say when I do them live or when I do them in public, I usually ask for it to be gentle, but what comes up is what needs to come up. So I'm
Okay. Is this like a board to the head kind of thing? Is that what it's going to be today?
sometimes it can be.
It has been for me on occasion.
Yeah.
Well, apparently I need it, right?
Okay, so what came up under barriers is the essence of mallow, which is creating barriers to friendships with others, increasing warmth and trust in social contacts. So I will read the longer part. And I want to say, especially when you work with them a lot, there are layers to our healing. So sometimes the writing might, like, especially the first words, you might be like, no, I don't feel like I'm, closing myself off. And, but yeah, when you read the longer part, you're like, okay, yeah, there's a part of me that still. And of course, it's one of the pages that's fallen out of my book. So I have to go grab that page because I didn't grab those.
Sure.
Although I intuitively knew and I thought I should grab them, but then I went, no, I won't need it. There's only
Learn to
5
listen.
notes that have fallen out.
Why
It is
would
a perfect topic, though, for the topic of the.
I know, right?
I agree.
Hold
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, I've learned to listen to those voices in my head when they say pick that up or do this or
Right.
that.
Yeah.
What did she say? Mallow? It was a
Mallow.
Mallow.
Yeah.
okay.
Mallow is
Right.
one of the herbs that my naturopath gave me for healing my lungs when I had that infection at the beginning of summer.
Mhm.
Mallow was one of the things she gave me. She's like, just smoke it because it'll clear your lungs.
Was it dry?
It was
Okay.
dried. Yeah. It was like dried flower.
No, the constitution of your lungs. Were you dry or were you mucousy?
I
Just
was
curious.
mucousy.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just wondering, I'm learning about herbs. I'm taking a
Yeah.
class. So marshmallow is very mucilaginous. So for a dry cough or something, it would be. So mallow must be a different plant
No, probably
or
not. But it's
flower.
from a different state.
Yeah.
And so that might make a difference in where
Yeah.
it grows. Yeah.
I heard what you're saying, and that's not surprising because that would be like chest and lungs would be your heart chakra.
Mm-hmm.
And so with social warmth and contacts, not surprising that that's where it was showing up and that's what would help with.
Right.
Okay, are you ready, Bobby?
I'm ready.
So what you're listening for is kind of what resonates with you, and I can tell you what kind of jumps out at me. The way they're listed is there's positive qualities, so what the essence helps with, and then there's patterns of imbalance, which is what it helps us to release. And when we call it in, you can ask it to assist you with a certain type of energy, or you can ask it to help you release something that's maybe a barrier, which is what it came up under. So I will read and see what you're drawn to. And then I can tell you what I was drawn to.
Okay.
So the positive qualities are warm and personable, open-hearted sharing, trust in the social process. The patterns of imbalance are insecure in relationships, paralysis in reaching out to others, resulting in social barriers. The
Well,
soul flourish. Sorry.
that hits it. Yeah. The
Just wait. You're
insecurity.
not even at the good stuff yet.
Great. Okay.
The soul flourishes through friendship and social exchange. Physical warmth is the basis of life, and likewise, social warmth sustains the life of the human soul. Many individuals suffer from an inability to reach out to others. Often, this stems from early childhood. but can also be due to other cultural or karmic factors. Such a personality has not learned to trust others, nor to trust his or her own capacity to radiate warmth to others. There is a profound inability to feel or to receive the warm flow of exchange, which occurs when two souls touch energetically. Instead, the heart feels frozen, and these places, which should feel like portals, are more like walls or barriers. The mallow flower gently opens its obstruction to the feeling life, so that the soul can begin to experience the rich glow of social warmth that comes from loving exchange with others. Mallow helps the soul learn to trust the feelings buried in the heart, encouraging the individual towards greater social involvement.
Well, there you have it.
I
That was pretty
my
nice.
face is giving you away. I'm sorry. I was
Go
trying.
ahead. Okay.
I was giggling at her face. I was like, yep, that's
I wasn't
resonating.
looking, I was reading.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. Yes.
So,
I was watching your face too, and you're like, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
Mhm.
Yeah,
so
that
I'm curious, Tara, what stood out to you? What hit you?
so I definitely was the open-hearted sharing and trusting in the social process. And so the sentence of such a personality has not learned to trust others nor to trust his or her own capacity to radiate warmth was really one that called me.
Yeah, it's all very true. The other one is the insecurity and the not reaching out to people to ask for help.
Okay. So would you like to release that? The
Absolutely.
insecurity?
Yeah.
Okay, so just take a deep breath.
Can I do it too?
Absolutely. And anybody listening, if you feel called, do it.
Very cool.
Trust your guidance. So you just have to repeat after me. Do you feel like you're fully here and present and good to go?
Yes.
Okay. So just repeat after me. It might be easier to close your eyes because then you don't feel like you're being watched.
Okay.
Um, and so I ask for the flower essence
I ask for the flower essence
of mallow
of mallow
to enter my energy fields,
to enter my energy fields,
energy body,
energy body,
and physical consciousness
and physical consciousness
with the help of the divine.
with the help of the divine.
I ask for the flower essence of mallow
I ask for the flower essence of mallow
to assist me with
to assist me with
releasing
releasing
feeling insecure in relationships
feeling insecure in relationships
and a paralysis
and a paralysis
in reaching out to others
in reaching out to others
and releasing social barriers.
and releasing social barriers.
I ask for the flower essence of mallow
I ask for the flower essence of mallow
to manifest,
to manifest,
to integrate.
to integrate.
And then are you feeling the energy anywhere?
I feel it right here.
Okay, so just put your hands there and then say, and stabilize.
And stabilize.
And then just breathe that till it kind of shifts or moves or does whatever it needs to do.
This is very powerful.
Right?
It
This
is.
is really something. Wow.
Mhm.
You know, I have an issue with my lungs. When I was a little girl, I had bronchial pneumonia and I was in the hospital when I was like 4 or 5. That lung situation has kind of carried through my lifetime. And I don't smoke. I don't drink. And so just those kind of things. But I notice sometimes that when I get overwhelmed and people, relationships and stuff, that's where it goes. It kind of stops me breathing. I have issues breathing deep at that point.
I feel like when I was reading this too, that this might be, and not that I understand it, but past life stuff as well. Like I feel like you've carried this into this life as well. So it feels like it's deep seated. I'll say that. So
Wow.
how did
That's
that feel on the release?
this is the coolest thing. I feel very free. It's wonderful. I'm so grateful for you guys here today. It's what a great thing.
So we're gonna bring it in 2 other times because we're supposed to bring it in 3 times.
Okay.
I really feel drawn to releasing a lack of trust in your own ability to radiate warmth and lack of trust in others, to
That's,
release that.
yep, that's
Yeah.
true.
Okay. So ready?
Ready.
I asked for the flower essence of mallow
I ask for the flower essence of mallow
to enter my energy fields,
to enter my energy fields,
energy body,
energy body,
and physical consciousness
and physical consciousness
with the help of the divine.
with the help of the divine.
I asked for the flower essence of mallow
I ask for the flower essence of mallow
to assist me with
to assist me with
releasing,
releasing,
not trusting others,
not trusting others,
nor trusting my own capacity
nor trusting my own capacity
to radiate warmth to others.
to radiate warmth to others.
I asked for the flower essence of mallow
I ask for the flower essence of mallow
to manifest,
to manifest,
to integrate.
to integrate.
And then are you feeling the same spot?
I am, right? It just moved a little bit, but I felt it more powerfully this time.
Oh, yeah. And stabilize, and then just breathe and let it move how it's going to move.
And stabilize. I feel it on the back of my spine and in my mid back, up by my shoulders, in between my shoulder blades.
Yeah, I felt that one too.
And it's kind of moving up towards my head.
Mm-hmm. So it wants to release. So just breathe it out.
Mhm.
And do some focus, kind of like move that energy and help shift it out, because it just wants to be released.
It's going up my head. This is interesting.
Nice. Do you feel like
It
that
always
got
makes
it?
me yawn.
Me too.
Yep.
It always makes
too.
me yawn. I'm sitting here yawning.
It's kind of hovering around the cap of my head.
Okay. So let's do, on this last time, let's do a final release. And then, because I always like to bring in something energetically. Do you like my soul learning to trust the feelings buried in the heart, encouraging you towards greater social involvement? Do you like that?
Yes.
Okay. And I am also drawn to the open-hearted heart sharing.
Okay.
Okay. So ready?
Ready.
I asked for the flower essence of mallow
I ask for the flower essence of mallow
to enter my energy fields,
to enter my energy fields,
energy body,
energy body,
and physical consciousness
and physical consciousness
with the help of the divine.
with the help of the divine.
I asked for the flower essence of mallow
I ask for the flower essence of mallow
to assist me with
to assist me with
releasing a lack of trust
a lack of trust
in others
in others
and in my own capacity
and in my own capacity
to radiate warmth,
to radiate warmth,
and to assist me with
and to assist me with
my soul learning
my soul learning
to trust the feelings
to trust the feelings
buried in my heart,
buried in my heart,
encouraging me
encouraging me
towards greater social involvement.
towards greater social involvement.
I ask for the flower essence of mallow
I ask for the flower essence of mallow
to manifest,
to manifest,
to integrate.
to integrate.
And then do you feel it anywhere?
I feel two spots. I feel it on the
Okay.
back of my head and right here.
Okay,
Not
so wherever you, yeah, put your hands in both spots and then stabilized.
and stabilized.
And then let it move how it moves.
There's a huge pressure on the top of my head. I'm sure it wants to come out.
Yep. So just breathe it out. You might even want to do some, because you said you do Reiki, right? So you can do
Open
some
your open your crown. Yeah, pull.
yeah, and just shift it physically, because it wants to go. It definitely wants to go.
Yeah, just turn your hand upside down to release the pressure. Yeah, like Benny Hill. Tara, thank you so much. I could see that you were having trouble like getting your point across, but once you experience this, you realize how powerful it is.
Well, it's so hard because it's so different for everyone, and I can say what I say, but it's more once you've experienced it, then you just go, now I get it.
Now I get it.
Something. Thank you so much. This is what a gift. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
This is
So
beautiful.
usually it takes a couple days to fully integrate. They're there to support you with what you've asked for. And they'll be there to support you, but usually it takes a couple days to fully integrate. But they're very subtle in the way too that you the way they kind of work their way into your life. So you might, you know, next time you're at the grocery store, you'll just be more open to like the conversations or like little subtle things like that, where it's not like all of a sudden you just are, I don't know. It's hard to say. They're very subtle that way, but very powerful.
I was
And
just going to say that it's very subtle, but very powerful. Yeah.
yeah, and it's subtle ways that it makes the changes, but all of a sudden one day you'll just be like, whoa, I never would have said that before. And so it's subtle in that way, but yeah.
Well, I won't be dancing on a table or anything, will I? Being social.
That's what I mean. Well, maybe if you want to, but
This
yeah.
has been spectacular. You guys are a hoot, and what a great, I'm so grateful that I got to meet you and you came on the show. And if you don't mind, we'd love to have you back. At least I'm speaking for me, and I'm inviting Kristina to say yes too.
Always, always.
Yeah. Thank you for having us. Absolutely. Thank
This
you.
is
Yeah.
another branch of my sisterhood. And you also release these on YouTube and different readings and such on YouTube. So would you like to share your YouTube channel?
So my YouTube channel is, well, my whole business is TSW Life Coaching, which stands for Trust, Strength, and Wisdom, and are my initials. And so I do every Wednesday. I do one for the collective, and whoever feels called can bring it in. I do it exactly the same as we just did it. And I also started doing, because I do oracle cards as well, just more so for fun. And so I've started doing pick-a-piles once a week, where I get a card and an essence and a little token that has a word on it, and then I get a channel message. And those have been a lot of fun to play with, and people love those too. And those are all on my Facebook, and I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, all under TSW Life Coaching.
Very cool.
Yeah.
My head is kind of tingling. I feel really rested and kind of, I feel like someone has their hands on my arms, like holding me. It's a cool sort of protective. And again, I'm a little out there.
It's okay.
A little different than I usually am. So
yeah. And I would like to give Tami also the opportunity to share where people can find you.
Yes.
Thank you. My website is mendingheartshealing.com. I am on Facebook under Heart Mender Toolbox is my public group. I do have a private group where I go more vulnerable. I show more vulnerability in there, and it gives a safe space. It's called Mending Hearts with Self-Love. And my program is called Heart Activation Toolbox, or Heart Activation, Heart Activation. And I will be getting that out there publicly very, very soon. I'm working diligently on getting that together to reach the public. And I'm so excited to share these tools with people.
That's awesome.
It is a most needed skill set.
Yeah. Absolutely. And you can also get my jewelry on mendingheartshealing.com under shop. So I have all my all my crystal jewelry under there as well.
Okay. I
Awesome.
will certainly take a look at all of that. Thank you guys so much for being here today. This is such a great opportunity to learn what you guys do and how you share yourselves with people, with society and what you do for a living. Please come back. This was great. And thank you so much.
Absolutely. It's nice
Thank
to meet
you
you,
for
Bobby,
doing
and
this. It was
thank you
great
for
meeting you.
Yes.
thank you for having us. Absolutely.
Yes.
And Kristina, thanks for making the connection and the connecting the sisterhoods.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Also, if anyone wants to make an appointment with me, I do have a page on my website, kristinabloom.com, where you can request an appointment on the calendar.
Highly recommended. Highly recommended.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. We've done a lot of exchanging, all of us.
Yes, we have. And I think
That's what we do.
beautiful though. Like
Yes.
speaking of the topic, that's
Mhm.
that's part of that social friendship thing is
Yeah.
or spiritual friendship thing.
Mhm.
Is that we
Support.
have each other to help and support each other.
Yeah.
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 This feels like the old sisterhood from thousands of years ago, how we all started out, being.
It is. It is. It's coming back.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. We're not being
Yeah.
pulled apart anymore. We're coming together.
Right. I kind of feel like we should all do like this group past life regression, see where we've all known each other before.
Ooh, that would be fun.
Oh, yeah, that's fun.
Not sure it would make
Do
a
it.
good YouTube show, but
Yeah.
Or maybe it would. You never
or
know.
maybe it would. You never know. Exactly. Exactly. So everybody who's listening, please share us out with everyone that you know and love. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. Let's keep sharing these beautiful talents that people have.
Yep. Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. And if you want a breakfast with Bobby mug, you can contact either Bobby or myself.
That would be great.
Your mug, since I don't have one with me.
Kristina's she's going to get the pink slip maybe if she does this again. I'm just saying.
Nice. I need one of those.
We love her.
Meet me in Massachusetts next week or next month. I'm sorry, next month.
Ooh.
I'll bring you one. All right.
Oh, okay.
Thank you and have a great day, everyone.
Thanks,
Thanks, ladies.
everybody. Take care.
See you.
Mhm.